In yet another fiery broadside aimed at the exiled Duke and Duchess of Sussex, outspoken broadcaster Piers Morgan has delivered one of his most scathing rebukes to date. Branding Prince Harry a walking disaster and mocking Meghan Markle as nothing more than a PR manager, Morgan claims the once respected royal has become little more than a mouthpiece for his wife's Hollywood-driven ambitions. According to Morgan, Meghan scripts Harry's every move, carefully curating his statements, appearances, and even his emotional outbursts. The controversial TV host pulled no punches in his latest remarks, referring to the Duke as the royal puppet of Montecito, a man who, in Morgan's words, has traded dignity and tradition for glitz, grievance, and glossy magazine spreads. And while critics may see Morgan's commentary as yet another personal attack, many within royal circles and even former supporters of the Sussexes now echo similar sentiments. What began as a noble decision to seek freedom from the constraints of royal life has, in the eyes of many, devolved into a non-stop media circus, one orchestrated largely by Meghan Markle. From the moment Meghan entered the royal spotlight, the narrative shifted dramatically. Initially welcomed with excitement and open arms by both the British public and the monarchy, she was heralded as a progressive, modern figure who could inject new life into the centuries-old institution. But the honeymoon period didn't last. What followed was a trail of controversy, public fallouts, and a pattern of victimhood that left a bitter taste even among once sympathetic audiences. Behind the polished photos and curated interviews, insiders suggest Meghan was far from the peacemaker she portrayed herself to be. Palace staff reportedly complained about her alleged bullying behavior, claiming she was demanding, dismissive, and difficult to work with. The palace launched a quiet investigation into the allegations, but the findings were conveniently buried, no public report, no consequences, just more questions about Meghan's true character. Piers Morgan, never one to hold back, has long accused Meghan of manipulating her way into the royal family, only to dismantle it from within. He has openly questioned the sincerity of her claims, especially during the infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, where she alleged racism, neglect, and mental health struggles while offering little concrete evidence. To Morgan and others, these were calculated plays designed to position Meghan as the brave, misunderstood outsider, while villainizing an ancient institution that couldn't fight back in the same sensationalist way. Then came the Netflix docuseries, the memoir Spare, and countless magazine covers and interviews. Each one painted the same picture, Meghan and Harry as victims, relentlessly persecuted by an evil press and an unfeeling royal machine. But critics point out that it's hard to maintain a narrative of victimhood while simultaneously cashing in on your royal connections. The Sussexes have raked in hundreds of millions from their media deals, all while publicly trashing the very institution that made them household names. Morgan's take is brutally direct but reflects a growing view that Harry, once admired for his military service and approachable nature, has become a shadow of his former self. Under Meghan's influence, he has burned bridges with his family, publicly slammed his father and brother, and turned his back on traditions that once defined his character. Whether it's revealing private conversations with royals, accusing unnamed family members of racism, or publishing intimate details of his life, including tales of drug use and frostbitten body parts, Harry's recent choices have shocked even his most ardent supporters. The term royal puppet might seem harsh, but to many it captures a painful truth, that Prince Harry is no longer his own man. Instead, he's seen as a spokesperson for Meghan's ambitions, her carefully crafted narrative, and her relentless pursuit of global stardom. While Meghan has returned to red carpet events, launched new lifestyle ventures, and reportedly explored fresh media opportunities, Harry appears more isolated, more awkward, and more dependent than ever. In Morgan's words, Meghan is the PR manager of the Sussex brand, a brand built on rebellion, victimhood, and curated authenticity. He argues that every move they make is designed not for healing or reconciliation, but for exposure and relevance. And the numbers back this up. Their Netflix series was a global hit, Spare sold millions of copies, and every public appearance guarantees headlines. But at what cost? Their relentless need for attention has not only estranged them from the royal family but also eroded their credibility with the public. Polls in the UK and even in the US show declining support for the couple, especially as their claims become more extravagant and their media presence increasingly grating. What was once a fairy tale of love and liberation has become a cautionary tale of overexposure, self-importance, and media addiction. Morgan's comments, however inflammatory, tap into this growing fatigue. The public is tiring of the Sussexes' soap opera, and many are questioning whether Harry will ever step out from under Meghan's shadow. More importantly, there is growing concern that Meghan, far from being the supportive partner she claims to be, may be the architect of a deeply calculated campaign to control both the narrative and the man behind it. While Harry continues to speak about mental health, healing, and moving on, his actions often tell a different story. He remains estranged from his father and brother, has not returned to the UK except for tightly controlled visits, and continues to release content that criticizes or undermines his past life.